Well, good day, and thank you once again for tuning in. Today we're going to have a look at creating your own custom pages, page protectors for those hard to find discontinued items. We'll be examining converting the true 12 by 12 album pages and page protectors to fit the old style Creative Memories albums, converting to accommodate any pages or page protectors in the 8.5 by 11 size, and looking at creating the Memorabilia pocket pages for the Picfolio albums. So let's head over to the craft room and I'll give you some pointers. My first demonstration here is going to be talking about our 12 by 12 Creative Memory album pages. Now initially, the Creative Memories album page was actually a 12 by 12 page. As you can see here by my ruler, it's taking the 12 inches. But as they created the pages, they thought to reinforce them, they would add jeeping on either side of the page to make the page stronger and more durable when turning. And also when you're stacking your album, the two jeeping bindings together would add a little bit of a buffer space so you don't have a lot of contact of friction of photo on photo, which would protect your photos a little bit better. Some years back, industry standards changed, and in order to sell our Creative Memories pages for other albums, the perfect fit size paper, which was cut to fit this jeeping, wouldn't fit in the standard 12 by 12 pages. So Creative Memories went on and they created the true 12 by 12 page. So our album page is actually 12.5 inches, but our working space between the jeeping is a full 12 inches. Now some of you have some older album pages. Your first dilemma that you're going through is a lot of people bought pages, but they never bought page protectors at the same time. So they have to convert page protectors. If you can't find or locate page protectors, it's easy enough to convert the newer page protectors to fit the older albums just by running it with your trimmer. So we'll take our 12-inch trimmer and we have to reduce our page protector by 1/2 inch. Now, because the page protector goes on side loading, we're going to be cutting from the top bottom edge. Our 1/2 inch mark on the trimmer is running even with the first line you see here. To cut your page protectors, I usually recommend nice firm pressure with your blade. Start in the middle and work your way out from the edge, because if you come in from the side, because it is a slippery material, sometimes it can buckle on you. But if you take off that 1/2 inch of page protector strip, your page protector will now fit in your old size pages. Now sometimes you're finishing an old size album and you need 1 or 2 more pages and you're actually going to be short pages. Easy enough to trim the page protector. I will now demonstrate how to trim down your album page so it goes from the new true 12 by 12 size to the older size. Our goal will be to take our 12-inch dimension across here and take it down to the 11.5. We're going to take our trimmer, extend our blade, line it up there, and we're going to line our page on the edge of the page and the jeeping at the 11.5 mark on the outside. So our paper is on the 11.5, and on this side you can see here where I made my little tick mark, I am on the cut line here. So we'll hold that down. Make sure you hold it down a little bit more firmly because your bar is on the jeeping, so you have to make sure you have nice firm pressure to go across, and we'll just trim that down. Now we'll take the existing piece we have, add some adhesive to it, and I'm going to attach my page nice and flush with the other one to bring our size down to the old size of the 11.5 inches. And there we have it. Our page should now be flush with the other one. The one side will fit over nicely just on top of the edge, flush with the jeeping. The other side will have an overlap, and to hide that or mimic that, it's easy enough just to add a little border. So I'm going to grab my repositional tape. I'll put some adhesive on this one. And we'll add a pretty border on this side. Adding a border will also reinforce that edge where the two pieces have been attached together. It'll keep everything really nice and hide the fact that you have a joint there. So that's reducing a page from a true 12 by 12 to the old standard size and trimming down the page protector accordingly to fit to complete any older size albums. The next album size we're going to be looking at is the 8.5 by 11 album size. And like the 12 by 12s, many of you will have purchased lots of album pages and your short page protectors. If you're short the whole works for completing your albums, it is possible to go on the Creative Memories website and purchase the 8.5 by 11 side loading sleeves. So your album page, you can just continue making them, and they do come with these great little extra pieces of reinforcing cardstock that you can work on directly or take off and add extra stuff to your flaps. These memorabilia pockets in the 8.5 by 11 are just amazing. So to trim down your album page, I don't need more of these, but I'll show you quickly how you would do it. Should you have to reduce to create more album pages, what you would want to do is match up your jeeping on your page and match up your staples, because the 8.5 11s do fit the 12 by 12 albums. And then you would mark with a pencil the top and the bottom of where you need to trim your album page down. For the outside edge, again, you want to be matching on the inside of the jeeping for your initial cut. So you want to go over one jeeping space, so you can take the back edge jeeping where the staples are, slide it back so that it is one edge back behind the blade, and then you're going to make your cut with your trimmer along this line. So you'll be making a cut with the trimmer at the bottom, the top, and along the line here. On the outside, do another 1/2 inch strip, same as you did. You'll already be short at the top and the bottom. And then do your overlap just as you did for reducing from the true 12 by 12 to the old 12 by 12 size. To finish your corners here, you can just take your corner rounder, really good firm pressure, and give it a little snip, and you can create the smaller pages. The dilemma with these ones here that most of you are out of is the page protectors itself. We are going to take this 12 by 12 page protector and convert it into an 8.5 by 11 page protector, like so. All right, and in order to do that, we are going to use the fuse tool. Now this fuse tool comes with your fuse handle. I'm using the fuse tool blade. There is also a little cutting blade. It comes with a support base. It's plugged in and warm right now, so we don't want to touch it. It'll keep it from lying down and burning in you or anything else. And it also comes with your grid guide, which will help you keep straight lines, which we're going to do for this project. You can use the fuse tool for other things. I've used slide-in page protectors to create a custom album size. As you see here, these are some 1950 size photos. They're all different sizes. I couldn't get them any page protector that I had. Reason I didn't want to remount them is that I had all this journaling on the back, which was Polish, that I could not rewrite. So this way, I just took my fuse tool and custom made my own pocket page. All right, but let's get on to this project. Okay, for this task, the first thing we're going to have to do is trim with our trimmer our 12 by 12 page protector to 8.5 inches by 12. Now remember, when you're trimming it, page protectors do go on the page with these seams at the top and the bottom. So we're going to slide this in to our 8.5 line and cut off that last bit. So now we have the right width of the page. We now need the right length. For your second cut, you're going to measure this. It's 8.5 by 11 our end result, but we're actually going to cut this at 11 3/4 for our working cut. So we're going to go off 11 3/4. When I've done some demos with this tool, I had taken my page protector and tried my basic fusing. Because this is plastic underneath, I'm just going to put a metal edge here so you can see to protect my mat. So I ran the fuse tool across my page, and you can see how it gave me this nice little fuse here. Unfortunately, because the page protectors, unlike the photo sleeves, are very slimy, it did not hold very well. So after I did my test runs with these, I found the best way for this to attach again at the end was to take my page protector and to fuse it back on itself. So in order to fuse it back on itself, what I mean is that we are going to make the new fuse against this seam that was existing. It's already bumpy and grippy, and it gives it something to catch to. So we're going to open up our page protector, line the fuse line in between the two pages on the 11.5 inch line, which I've marked in red so it's easy to see. Slide that down. Guys, squeeze that in between the two of them. Line up my little grid piece of metal. Again, I can see my red line. It's easy to go. I'm going to follow my rough seam that I've got here, and I'm going to apply my pressure and start my fuse. When doing this technique, you are going to want to do both sides of this page protector to fuse against the new seam. And you may have to go over it a couple of times to get a nice good firm fuse. You'll be running some test runs with your fingers as you go along to make sure you have a nice solid fuse. See how that feels pretty good? So we'll flip it over and we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, once everything's fused, we're going to take our little finger and just double check across the seam. Make sure no parts loose or coming undone. All this seems really great. And then we'll take our scissors and you're going to snip as close to the edge as you can on this side, just to remove that extra page protector that we no longer need. And voila! And just to double check, our old size page protector versus the new. and it looks pretty good. I recommend that when you're sliding it in your album and you're putting this new fused one on, I would put the original fused edging at the top, just in case you didn't apply enough pressure on the lower seam. But you're good to go, and you've now modified your 12 by 12 page protector to an 8.5 by 11. So just to review, let me get a black background so you can see a little bit better. With our fuse tool, we went across. This is one of the pieces I cut off my 12-inch sheet. You're gonna, if you make your fuses on the sheet, although they seem to hold quite nicely, if you're putting any pressure trying to get them rear jeeping, they do pull apart. So by inserting the piece that we've cut off, putting it back in on itself, so there it is here, you can see how the page protector is nice and snug and firm across that new fuse. So the last thing you're going to do again is just trim up on the outside edge to give you that new border. The last album adjustment for pages I want to talk about is the Picfolio album. This album comes with the multi-pocket pages, which gives you pockets in which you can put many smaller photos, or the full memorabilia pocket pages in which you can do collage pages or create or insert larger photos. Today, on the Creative Memories website, you can buy the pocket refill pages to create pockets, but unfortunately the larger memorabilia pockets are no longer available. So as an alternative to make more, what I have done is I've gone to the craft store, and in the art supply album where you're creating artist Picfolios, you can get acid-free standard photos with the polyglass pages. These are for professional layout sheets, and they're made for your ringed binders. But with these pages, I have been able to, let me show you when I'm done. They come in a larger size, but I've taken them down. I run them through my trimmer and I cut off a little bit of my height to get them to the 14 inches I need for my page. And then I've been taking my pages that I have, lining them up against the pleats that they have here, and just going in with my scissors once I know where the straps are going to go through, and I've just been marking and cutting through the little bits to adjust my staples. So I get a black filler sheet which I can swap out with anything else, but it's all photo safe, and I do get a larger sleeve for my albums. In the album itself, they will stick out just a little bit as you are folding through the albums, but the pages, they do slide nicely within the jeeping, and they just work just great for making your larger collage pages. So that's your solution if you need the larger memorabilia fixed pages in your albums, what you can do to create those. So we've covered going from the 12 by 12 albums in the true size to the old size, converting to make more 8.5 by 11 sizes, and working with the Picfolio albums to create full memorabilia style pages. If you found today's video helpful, do share it with a friend and give me a thumbs up to show me that you liked it. We'll see you again soon.